Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Sports PSP. Hope everyone's enjoying a fantastic Monday. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the Sports PSP podcast and check out the Sports PSP podcast live every Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Man, I got to talk about my guy, my Oklahoma brother, Baker Mayfield. He did it again. He did it again. Somehow, some way, Baker Mayfield just finds ways to win. In the game against Seattle Seahawks, going up against his former teammate, Sam Darnold. Both of them were the top 3 picks in the 2018 NFL draft. Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall. Sam Darnold, 3rd overall. Both were teammates at Carolina. They're going up against each other. Man, it was a hell of a football game between the two. Tampa Bay Buccaneers ended up with the victory, 38-35. Baker Mayfield, 29 of 33 for 379 yards, a season high so far, a completion percentage of 87.9%. 2 touchdown passes. One of them was the game-tying touchdown pass to Sterling Shepard. A passer rating of 134.7 and a QBR on a scale of 0 to 100, 90.7. I think it's fair to say at this particular point, and look, you can make an argument for other candidates to be the league MVP. Of course, there's the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. The Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott, by this season, he has played outstanding. Outside of the game against Chicago in week 3, I believe, he has played outstanding. But if I were a voter, if I were in the media, and if the season ended today, who would I give the MVP to? It's none other than Baker Mayfield. You look at what Baker Mayfield has done this season. He has thrown 10 touchdown passes to only 1 interception with 1,283 yards. He's 4th in the NFL in passing yards. He's tied for 3rd in touchdown passes. He's 8th in the NFL in QBR with 68.7. He's completed 65.1% of his passes. Baker Mayfield is on pace to throw for 4,362 yards with 34 touchdown passes to only 3 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, not only that, he has had 4 game-winning drives. Week 1 against Atlanta. Week 2, Monday Night Football against the Houston Texans. Week 3 against the New York Jets. And yesterday against the Seattle Seahawks. He would have had 5 game-winning drives had it not been for the Bucky Irving fumble and on top of the interception that he threw in the red zone against the Philadelphia Eagles. Baker Mayfield somehow, some way has found ways to win, and he has done it without his best offensive lineman, Tristan Wirfs. Yesterday, he didn't have his best running back, Bucky Irving. He's had to do it without Mike Evans, and he's also had to do it without Chris Godwin as well. He was relied on other targets, such as Cade Otton, a really underrated tight end, Payne Durham, and of course, one of the ascending young wide receivers in the NFL, who is clearly right now the leading candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year, in Emeka Egbuka out of the Ohio State University. Emeka Egbuka, 25 receptions, 445 yards. By the way, 4th in the NFL in receiving yards. He's tied for 2nd in the NFL in touchdown receptions. Outside of week 3, Emeka Egbuka has scored every touchdown in every week. Outside against the New York Jets in week 3. Baker Mayfield has shown you he's more than what the offense. And yes, he is surrounded with pieces and talent. Of course, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin Jr. when healthy. And he also has some underrated talent in Tez Johnson. And also in Jane McMillan when he comes back, because Jalen McMillan had an excellent rookie season last year. But at the same time, Baker Mayfield has played elite. Baker Mayfield, regardless of the circumstances, just finds ways to win. Tampa, I believe, will still win the division primarily because of Baker Mayfield. Because even under tough circumstances, somehow, some way, Baker Mayfield finds a way to get the job done. I already said it. This is the last time I'm going to say it just for today. We all know that the Cleveland Browns made an awful, huge mistake going with Deshaun Watson and moving on from Baker Mayfield. And clearly, Cleveland right now, they're a mess. Even though Dylan Gabriel, to his credit, in his first start, I thought he looked solid against the Minnesota Vikings. But more importantly, at the end of the day, Cleveland hasn't been the same without Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield has gotten the last laugh, needless to say. I love what I'm seeing from Baker Mayfield. I believe if the season ended today, I believe you would make a case for Baker Mayfield to win the MVP. I could understand you going with Josh Allen, and I can understand you going with somebody else. But it's hard to disregard what Baker Mayfield has accomplished this season. He has been clutch. He has been mostly consistent throughout this season. Without Baker Mayfield, where would Tampa be? Baker is very underrated, not only as a passer, because he has a stronger arm than given credit for, but also Baker has legs. Baker, obviously, he's not Lamar Jackson. I'm not trying to make an argument he's Lamar Jackson, but don't underestimate Baker Mayfield's ability to move or extend plays. And Baker has that chip, that dog, that swagger. And he's playing, to my man, Undisputed World Champ's point. He's looking like the old Baker from his good old Oklahoma days, especially the year when he won the Heisman Trophy. That's the type of Baker Mayfield that you're seeing. And I love it. I love it. And I love it for Tampa because I believe Tampa could be one of the teams that can compete in the NFC to challenge Philadelphia. I believe the team, in my opinion, is San Francisco. But Tampa can make a very valid case. And when you look at the numbers in Pro Football Reference, if you just look at this season, if you look at so far this season in team offense, Tampa's 7th in the NFL in team offense. In passing offense, they're 6th in the NFL. Tampa averages 243.4 yards per game. That's 6th most in the NFL. Only so far, the San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Rams, Dallas Cowboys, Indianapolis Colts, and the Seattle Seahawks have more passing yards per game than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if we're going to go by scoring offense, if you look at it, Tampa, unfortunately, they're 23rd in scoring offense. But in points per game, they're 7th in the NFL. Only the Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts, Buffalo Bills, Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks, Baltimore Ravens have more points per game than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But without Baker, how would Tampa's offense be without Baker Mayfield? How would Tampa collectively be without Baker Mayfield? He's still finding ways to get the job done. He's been clutch. He's been consistent. He has gotten better year after year after year. Look at the stat for the most touchdown passes, I believe, in the fourth quarter. Baker just finds a way to get the job done, man. There's something about Baker. He has that it factor. He can make any type of throw. That deep ball that he threw to Ibuka, even though it was a little behind him, but man, if you go back and look at that play, Baker put a lot of arm into that. And no matter what, Baker Mayfield has clearly lived up to the expectations. He's clearly a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. There's no question. There's no doubt about it. So if the season ended today, I got to go with Baker Mayfield, man, because he's on pace to throw for over 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's Aaron Rodgers-esque numbers. And Tampa is 4-1. They probably would have been 5-0. So that's all I got to say, man. But let me know, what are your thoughts? Who do you think is the MVP so far right now? Has Baker Mayfield been underestimated, underappreciated, and so much more, man? It's your boy Sports PSP. Enjoy the rest of your day, and peace.